everybody, this is Rasco here from Geekvolution, here to talk about The Flash Season 2, Episode 18. The title of this episode was Versus Zoom, so The Flash versus Zoom. So this episode, I guess we've kind of been waiting for it because we've kind of had some weeks off of The Flash, so there's, I guess, somewhat hype built up for this episode. And I gotta say that overall, this wasn't, I don't think, a very good episode, and I have a couple notes here, so there's some stuff that's working, there's some stuff that's not. So right off the bat, in the beginning of this episode, Wells is helping Barry build the, helping him condense the little ring thing that they put on Barry's chest to make him faster, so it helps him go like 4 times faster than he can normally go, or something like that. And Wells is like agreeing to help Barry make this, and everyone knows that the reason that Barry wants to go faster is so he can defeat Zoom. And Wells knows this, but Wells is saying, look, Barry, I'm not going to help you go to Earth 2 again because we can't risk it. We can't open up the portals to Earth 2 because Zoom could come through and it's just too dangerous. But I will help you get faster. But he knows that the only reason that Barry wants to get faster is so that he can beat Zoom on Earth 2. So I don't understand why Wells is acting as if he's not being completely hypocritical, because he's both helping Barry and then saying that he refuses to help him. But in reality, I don't know, it's really petty and stupid. So that's something that was just really weird about the beginning of this. And it's weird because Wells, by the ending of the episode, finally decides, like, okay, I'll help you. But he was kind of already helping him from the beginning, if we really think about it. So, also, something I noticed this episode, and maybe it's just me, I'm not sure if I'm sold that the actor who plays Wally West is that great of an actor. So overall, this episode, I kind of liked what they did with Wally and Joe. I like that we actually took a step forward with Wally and Joe, because we've kind of been pretty just, going through like a cycle with them, and we haven't been like progressing them as characters. They've just kind of been like, hey, they're hanging out now, and you see it every episode, and that's cool and all, but we actually took a step down. So Wally moves in to the house with Joe. The actor who plays Joe, he's always great. He's probably the best actor on this show, the same way Quentin Lance is probably the best actor on Arrow. So, yeah, both Arrow and Flash have that, where like they have like that cop character that's like the father of some other character. And on both shows, it's like perhaps the best actor on the show. I just find that really funny. That's kind of like consistent amongst these CW shows. Okay, here's something else I don't understand about this episode. So Cisco is going through this thing where he doesn't want to open up any of the portals to Earth 2. And he's saying that like he feels like he might go through like an Anakin Skywalker kind of thing, because Cisco on Earth 2 was turned evil and was using his powers to do evil things. And Cisco's worried that if he unleashes his power, like if he learns to use it, then somehow he will become evil too. And I don't understand this at all, because Cisco was there with Caitlin, and Caitlin, he was worried about Caitlin too, because he knew that Caitlin on Earth 2 was a villain, and he was kind of seeing Caitlin go down a dark path on Earth 1. So he starts worrying, and then Caitlin's like, look, Cisco, that's Earth 2. I'm not going to turn evil. And so I don't understand why Cisco is now okay and believes that Caitlin won't turn evil, but for some reason he can't, control himself. Like, he doesn't have faith in himself. So I just don't understand. I don't feel like that's very Cisco. Cisco's always the character who was kind of like wowed by all these powers and stuff like that. And it's just really kind of strange that we chose Cisco to be the character that's like kind of like nervous about his powers, because right off the bat it seems like he'd be the guy that would like want to explore his powers the most of anyone. The thing about Jay and Hunter Zolomon, so like Jay, we obviously learn on Earth 1 is Hunter Zolomon, and then on Earth 2 he is also, and we now know Jay has been Zoom, and it's really starting to hit me how like just overall like kind of stupid that makes some of the earlier episodes of this season. So early on in this season, I'm thinking it was I think it was episode 2, is like the episode where Barry had to kind of come to grips with Jay, and he had to figure Jay out. He'd be like, can I trust you? Can I not trust you? And in that episode, Barry's argument for not trusting Jay, when others were like, look, I think we can trust him, Barry was saying, look, no, last time we trusted somebody, or especially they were a speedster too, when we trusted Wells, he actually turned out to be the Reverse Flash. And he's like, look, I trusted him, and that's why he was able to do so much damage, and why he was able to hurt us is because he trusted them, and they believed that he wasn't a bad guy, and then he turned out to actually be evil. And the same thing happens now with Jay, And it's like, okay, here's why it makes that episode 2 not work, because at the ending of that episode, Iris has this like speech to Barry. She's like, Barry, you may have got us into trouble by trusting Dr. Wells, but you also helped us out of it by trusting Dr. Wells. You had to trust in Caitlin and Cisco to beat us. You had to trust in all of us to help you beat Dr. Wells. So you may say that trusting people is what hurt you, but actually it's what helped you. And now it's like the show is saying, no, that's not true. Barry shouldn't have trusted anybody. Barry can't trust anyone anymore. And that's what the show is saying, but I don't think the show realizes that. The show has pretty much said that, look, Barry, he didn't learn his lesson from trusting Dr. Wells, and now he still is trusting people, and it's coming back to bite him. And like, where's Barry gonna go from this? If Barry in season 3 meets another speedster or someone else and trusts them, then he has just made a horrible mistake, because based off of his past, his history, he's learned that trusting people is a horrible thing to do. And so, I don't know, it just feels weird. And that's the thing with the CW shows, is oftentimes it feels like they're like, I feel like they don't understand what the implications of the show's stories are. Like, if you look at this like as an overall package, season 2 so far, like it's not very consistent, because I don't think they understand the kind of negative message that they're sending from episode 2 to now. So that's just something that I kind of noticed about this episode that didn't work really. Also, at the ending of the episode, so Barry has to exchange his speed for Wally. And so Barry like runs on the treadmill, and his speed goes into a little like vial thing, and then Zoom injects it into his arm. And then Caitlin, there's this scene where like Zoom's like raging and stuff, and Caitlin is talking to him, and one of her lines is this. Like, this is what she said. Unless I heard her wrong, but I went back and listened to it like 3 times and like to figure out what she was saying to him. She says, "I know some piece of you deep care for me." That's what the line was. "I know some piece of you deep care for me." Or something like that. It was like, I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. That was the line. So maybe I heard it wrong. I think I went back and listened to it like 3 times, and that's what it seemed to be. So I don't understand why they left that line in there. That line doesn't make any sense. So yeah, but I think that it's going to be interesting moving on now, because I'm assuming they're going to have to tell Wally about the fact that obviously Barry's the Flash. I don't know how Wally can move forward in the series after he presumably is saved, and he not know that Barry is the Flash. I think it's kind of like the cat's out of the bag on that one. So maybe we're going to get to see Wally West, and we might actually get to see Wally West like with powers by the ending of this season. Possibly, because we're dealing with like the Speed Force, and Barry took the Speed Force out of his body, and now Zoom has it. And so I don't know, maybe it's transferred to Wally. I have no idea what's going to happen. But the person in the person with the helmet on that we don't know their identity, I think that person's going to be Barry's dad. I could be completely wrong about that, but that just seems like it would make sense, because Barry's dad went out early in this season, and if they were going to bring him back, it would maybe they're not planning on bringing him back, but if they do plan to bring him back, I think it would make sense to do it like this like at the ending of this season, and we reveal like Barry's dad on Earth 2. I don't know. Who knows? So, yeah, guys, I guess I'll see you guys next time on this. This has been awesome. What did you guys think of this episode? Leave it down in the comments. Peace out.